Hey everyone, it's Amador, and welcome to my hot mess of a project that I'm going to show you. I'm not completely in love with this project. It's with this layout. It's not like really multimedia. I mean, it was originally, but then it just came out ugly as heck. So I just kind of went a simpler direction. But let me show you first what I made. And this is for artattacksupplies.com. Of course, I will leave a link in the description. So I apologize in advance for my layout. I will admit, what are my challenges? Christmas stockings are my challenges. Layouts. I think because to me cards come a little easier. Maybe other things come a little easier. I might next time try a sketch. So I kind of have like an end game because I started this project and look, it started with this on craft paper with kind of like, you know, a dry brushed. I'm keeping this in case I want to use it for something else. For a dry brushed, like just some paints, and then it got into some layering and then that. So that's just ugly. It's a hot mess. But I used, let me show you guys what I used. I used the Prima A4 pad out of the Debutante, and let me show you. I was trying to make this more. The pictures I used are us making fun of my little sister, and you guys will see in a minute. It's pretty bad. We're pretty good siblings in the aspect that we torture each other. And I used some of the ephemera collection, and ironically, I used some of the feathers. I just didn't think I would. I used some of the tickets. Let me see here. These are just the tag me part, and this is the ephemera. And the ephemera pack comes with quite a bit. It comes with, and you guys probably saw in my video, hopefully, sequins. It comes with all sorts of stuff. I just didn't want to add the sequins and stuff. And I have this paper here so I can show you my layout because my craft mat is craft, and the base of the cardstock of my layout is also craft. So let me show you. Here is my layout, and I might have to move this up a little bit, so sorry if it's shaky. Sorry for the mess over here and over there. So this is what it is, and it's 12 by 12, and it's on the craft cardstock. And at first I dry brushed a little bit less of the paint than I did on that one, and then I took some of the paper collection I had on the first and second one. On the first try, I took some strips as well, and then I also dry brushed those, but it just looked messy. I personally don't like it. I like it more cleaner. And I layered them here. And these are pictures of us. This is me and my sisters. These are my twin sisters, Amelia and Emilia. And here's my nephew, James, and you guys might have seen him in one of my previous videos. And even Nathan says we're mean. We mess with each other. We're siblings, I mean, to the best intent. We would murder for each other, trust you me. But at the same time, we're gonna, you know, we're gonna mess with each other. And this is just a picture making fun of my sister. My sisters and my mom are very well kept, you know. They have their regular manicurist, and they have their eyebrow lady. They have their, you know, their waxing person and everything. And one day my little sister decided to show up to a party, and then she's like, "Oh, I've been really busy," and we're just staring. I'm like, dude, like, are you serious? You just showed up with, you know, basically, like, you know, and I know it's mean. I know you guys, it's kind of hypocritical because, you know, beauty is skin deep and all that, blah, blah, blah. But whatever. The point is, my sister is very prissy. My sister is a princess by all means. And we're just like, oh my God. So we just felt that we had to make fun of that because we're siblings and it's what we do. So, Chris, sorry, I love you. I'm sitting here telling your business. But these are just us having fun and enjoying the heck out of it. And we just took a Sharpie and we just doodled little mustaches on our fingers. And my parents were just like, stop. Like, my parents we were just bad kids. So anyway, and here's some of the ephemera that I used. I'll show you what pages I used if I can find the paper bag. Okay. I used several of the strips from the pages, but I also used this page. I cut up some frames and I cut out the center of them so I can just basically put them around some of the pictures. Here I put them around, there's this one and then there's this one, and then I layered it on some of the paper as well. And here I just put one because this one already had two. And this is a chipboard. It says Sophisticated Grand Time because we're just goofing around, you know. And I'm like, oh, so I love your mustache, and we're just like it was pretty bad. Everybody was getting into it. And now it's just a running joke. Now it's just a running gag where she has mustaches on stuff, and we even bought her one for her car because she has a pink car. And I digress, because this video is probably gonna be too long. And so I layered, and I recorded the first layout that I made before I tore it up, and then I deleted that because it was horrible. So I did record the process. So if you want to watch the process of it, stay tuned. It's a hot mess. I know I've done better, and I know I could do better. Personally, I'm kind of disappointed, but it's still funny. I didn't want it to be so perfect because, I mean, for goodness sakes, we're making fun of someone with mustaches, you know, with mustaches on her fingers. I mean, once again, sophisticated grand time. And so I cut up some strips, and honestly, I just tore them. I did it differently originally, but then I just tore them. And here are some of the tickets. And this one says favorite things, because now, like I said, now it's gone from a running gag to just something super cute, to the point that when she announced on Facebook her pictures, I made her the little prints to iron on that said, if you, and then has a mustache, I'm pregnant. It says, you know, if you mustache, I'm pregnant. So it's all over the place now because it just came out something funny and whatever, because we're crazy. So yeah, so I'm just trying to explain the fact that we're just horrible siblings, you know, we're just mean to each other, but that's what siblings do, okay? If you love each other, you torture each other. So I actually layered the happy on here, because once I was putting down the happy, I felt that, and trust me, I've done this so many times. I did this in black and white and blue, and it originally started, if I can find some of the original cuts, craft and blue, but it was just like, it just wasn't going with this. And then I decided, you know what, I'm just going to, and this is double layered, I was just going to paint it. And I painted it white and also brushed on some paint on the green feather. But the feather was there mainly because when I put the happy down, you really couldn't see it. It was kind of fading into the background, whereas like here I also put this paper so the moments wouldn't fade into the background. So these are some of our happy moments of just us, you know, being siblings basically. So yeah, and just the back, it's just, you know, I just wanted something goofy, something with a little bit of pink, because my little sister has everything pink, and I wanted to show that there's like dry brushed underneath. I just didn't want to do too much, and on the back to kind of have this pop up and then this stand up, and I also show how I put the little foam strips on the back of this. But yeah, I just want something goofy, something, you know, not everything can be perfect and flowers and sunshine and whatever. And then I also put another one of these feathers here. And some of these strips I actually took from my first attempt at this hot mess. But I decided to, you know, to use some of them and still use some of the prints. And you guys are probably thinking, that's your design team project, dude? Like, you just ripped some paper. This is painstakingly like overthinking and stuff like that. So like I said, next time I'm gonna use a layout so I kind of have a better direction, because I was just putting stuff everywhere. You should, like, seriously, the first video, oh my goodness, the first time attempt, it was like madness. So anyway, look, I still have some ink and I sprayed some stuff, but I did drop a little bit of little ink splatter. That's a little ode to Sabrina and all of you talented ladies out there that do that. But I need to get my, I don't know where I left my India ink, and this is just like some Lindy's or whatever. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think. Like I said, this layout was meant to be more fun and funny as opposed to like more sophisticated kind of family heirloom kind of stuff. So let me know what you guys think, and check out the shop. And just FYI, you guys, all of the paper kits, Traci has the paper kits, and they're at a discount because you get like the paper and some of the embellishments and stuff like that. I was going to make this layout with this paper, which she just has this, the Graphic 45 just came in, you guys will check that out. Because, you know, to make it like, oh, we're being so sophisticated with all mustaches. But I just, it was just like too pink. And I wanted to go off of a solid base. So that will be probably my next project. So yeah, so that's it, you guys. I'll probably add some pictures at or at the beginning, at the end, or something like that. I'm not sure. So yeah. So let me know what you guys think. And oh, and also, in case anybody wants to know, the letters, the fonts, I actually cut them out of my silhouette. My third cut. Boom, people. I'm making it work. I'm working it. And it was from Miss Katie's cuts or something like that. So yeah, that's where I got the font. Super cute. So yeah, so you guys check out Traci's shop, Art of Tech Supplies, and I promise my next layout will be a little bit nicer. So yes, so you guys, thanks for stopping by, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, everyone. Okay, so here's how I started. Basically, I just started with a craft cardstock, and this was my initial one that I made, and it was horrible. It was just like, I started layering paper, then I started whitewashing and stuff, and that totally didn't happen. But these are the colors that I'm using. I used, I like to use either Full Card or Apple Barrel, and it was Cloudless, Antique White, and White are the paint colors. And I just dry brushed it with just a brush several different ways on the craft cardstock. Now initially I just did it in the center, but I ended up bringing it out, the brush strokes more out, so because they were being covered too much by the paper, and I didn't want to be obvious that it was just all cardstock, brown cardstock underneath. So the title of this is supposed to be Happy Moments, and this was the initial one that I made. Like I said, I started layering and layering, then I said layered paint, then I layered sprays, and it was just butt ugly, and it was just like a big hot mess. So I decided I was going to reuse the title. And what I'm doing here is I'm heating it from behind so I can take off the title from the paper, from the layout, or just lifting part of it right here so I can remove the actual title and reuse it, because I had already put foam and everything on that the way it was done originally. And I got that from Miss Kate's Cuts or something like that. Totally forgot right now. And but I wanted to reuse it, and the funny thing is at the end I didn't even use this one. I ended up using another one. So I took it, I was trying to reshape it again. It already has a little foam things that I put on here. Now I did have the video of the original process video, but I deleted it because I was so mad at how horrible it came out. So here I'm just trying to give it more of a, a dirty, dingy kind of a black look. And then I decided I wanted more, and then I'm like, you know what, it was ugly, I just threw it out. So I went ahead and grabbed some more of that white paint, and I just, with the same brush, I just went ahead and covered it in white, and it's double layered, so as you saw right there, it's from Craft and Robin's Egg Blue, and that's how I originally decided to do it, but I wanted them in white, and it actually stood out way better, and I really liked the way it stood out. I actually like the way when you do the paint, you see in the background, like where I leave my mess, I might actually do a layout with something like that, where you just see the silhouette of it. So in here I splattered some of the Flat Fabio black spray from Lindy's on there, and I'm just layering some of the papers and to just ripping them up. I just wanted some kind of like, I didn't want it too girly, too feminine, because technically it's a layout about my little sister, but it just, show us goofing off and stuff. So, I wanted it to look like it was making a mess also on the actual, on the paper. So anyhow, and this is where I used the title. I wanted to put it at the bottom, and it just looked better to me, and it stood out way more. So, but I felt like I needed more paper, more scraps, and you see me there using that. And I really like the one with those rose bouquets, the flower bouquets. I do use some of them just in the row like that, and some of them I just use the other side, which is more of a corally pink color. And I just layered several of them, and these are actually the papers left from the original layout that looked so hideous, and I was able to use these, and I kind of liked it the way it worked better because they weren't as thick, whereas the other layout I did cut them in 4, 3, and 2 inches, and then I just frayed the edges, whereas this I tore them, and I just liked the way it looked better. And so, but and you see me there just trying it out, seeing where everything is going to go, because I don't normally do layouts things like this. So I mean, I can make a card look like this, but I guess I find that easier. Maybe it's a smaller space, I don't know, but I I was just layering, and then I decided, okay, it's gonna go down the way it's gonna go down, and I just went ahead and started adhering it with the ATG, and I wanted to make sure I had lighter colors, darker colors, and not just all lights and all darks on one side, because it's much easier that way to just filter things out. That way you have more of it spread out, as opposed to one side be heavier than the other, like the top part or the bottom part of where I have these layered strips of paper. So I just went ahead, and these are all papers from, like, the only paper that I didn't use from that I used that wasn't from The paper collection is the craft cardstock, which I use for the base. And as I get towards the bottom, I realize that I'm going to need, I didn't want to just leave it with the brown paper because it looked like, which is the craft paper, because it looked like I just either gave up or ran out of paper. So I grabbed some more and started cutting it, and then I cut it even more because I was trying to fit under there, under that bottom part, so it wouldn't look so bad. Because I originally had cut it much bigger, so I had to make it smaller to kind of coincide with the rest of them, yet be enough to show off the writing, the sentiment, the title. So here I'm just trying to place it again, because typically when I do a project, I actually take a picture. When I feel like it's done, and then I have to just assemble or glue everything, I take a picture with my phone. But since I was using my phone to record, it was kind of like, okay, well, you know, I stopped it and I took a picture just in case. But nevertheless, you have to envision the other items and the other things that you are adding to the card or whatever project you are doing. So here are the matted pictures, and I already have them from the previous layout, which I totally just ripped up, and I wanted to rip up and just burn. But what I did is I just went ahead and I took the picture. They were both printed up in 4x6, and the smaller one of me with my nephew, I just cut up in 4x4. It just conveniently looked that way because I wanted only the our faces to show, because everything around was, you know, not necessary, basically. So I went ahead and I cut out some of the frames from the one sheet that has several silhouette frames, and then I put them around around the original pictures. So as you can see, I wanted to add one of these feathers. I wasn't even sure, that I was like, yeah, you know what, just go for it. So I went ahead and I glued the happy part, and just keep in mind the Y does come separate, to the feather. But I actually had also, I will also at the bottom put some foam, and I went ahead and put two layers of that fun foam, so I can give it dimension, yet it won't be in danger of like completely getting caught on something and stuff, because it was actually pretty flattened. So for when I use foam, more than anything, I do like to use a glue gun when I'm doing foam, but I know some of the newer adhesives can actually withstand it and actually hold it. But either way, I mean, like, that's what I had here, so I just like to use it because it's quicker. And the actual robe, the actual the actual feather, I don't know where I thought robe, the actual roll of it was to go behind the letter so I can show off the letters better and happy. So here I'm just trying to figure everything out, figure where I'm going to place everything, and that's just like the happy, because I really like how it stood out in on the layout. So I'm just trying to figure everything back where I was at again. And I liked how in the frames I made the corner go into the frame, and then the edges of the frame go behind the picture. So it gives it more character, a little bit more dimension, I think. So now, since I did end up using the sentiment from the previous project that I messed up, I have to make the backing of these words that says moment. And I'm just cutting the foam strip in strips, which of course you're thinking I have those, or I can get those too, but it's just easier for me to do it this way. And I just cut thin strips, and then I cut them down to size that I would need them. As you can see, I'm doing several at a time. I don't do every single edge, every single corner. I just do the ones that I can easily do, and then I'll carry the rest of it through, basically. But you have two ways to do it. You can either put adhesive on, you can put the hot glue on the foam, or you can put the hot glue in on the actual foam, like I said, or on the actual chipboard or cutout. So, and then after that it's all done and said, I actually went ahead and applied hot glue to the back of it, and I was able to utilize it at the bottom. And with that pink paper, that pink corally paper, it gave it a good background to be behind. So, and in this one, I adhered the foam with my ATG tape, but obviously it wasn't working that well. That's why I went ahead and touched it up with my hot glue gun. So I placed that one down, and I went ahead and placed it underneath the T. So, teammate. so it could mean, so it could be actually more dimensional and be underneath it. Now I did have to cut down the feather because it was a little bit long and I didn't want it to stick off the layout. So here I am, and then I'm just trying to adjust the bottom of it. Now this part I felt like I hadn't cut off enough, and I wanted the 4x6 to be underneath, tucked underneath one, and it wanted to be more. And that is on that little section. So as I was putting up the 4x6 of me and my sisters, I was seeing that it was very empty and in the top part, but it looked like the frame just kind of stood on its own. And nobody did anything. I'm really sorry. I'm like, if I'm yelling at you guys, I was like really tired, but I'm physically exhausted. So anyhow, so here, since I already adhered the foam to the feather, I just adhered it to the side of the picture and with the compliments of the Joker. So I'm just trying to figure out where everything goes. I'm just trying to see what I need to adjust, and then I overlap to the pictures because I just want it to look wonky and goofy and silly, and it delivered. So here I'm using the chipboard pieces, and these are, it says, these are the chipboard pieces, and instead of using the adhesive back on them, I like to tear it off and then just use the cardstock body of it, because sometimes they don't sell it. So yes, and it says grand time on it, and if I'm not mistaken, that meant the other sentiment meant, yeah, that's what it was, sophisticated grand time, because we were just making fun of her, of my little sister, and I went ahead and put foam on part of that, and then the rest of it I just glued onto the picture because it was going to be dimensional. Now, an afterthought, which always happens with me, I thought, oh my, maybe I'll put another feather on it to kind of bring it a little bit more pop of color. And then I realized, well, I already put my sentiments down. Well, there I go, taking them apart, and also had to come home. So I went ahead and pulled those off, and I went ahead and cut down the feather because I didn't want it to hang off the layout. I eventually am going to put these in my scrapbook, my 12x12 scrapbook, and I want them to be able to fit without having items folded or tucked or whatever. So I went ahead and put some glue underneath the feather to make sure that would stick, and then I went ahead and stuck up, the grand time phrase there. And what else? I'm just sitting there taking a look at everything. It is basically done, except for I felt the feather was way too green, so I went ahead and bought it and brushed it with a little bit of the white paint. Okay, so after I paint the feather, I go on to look again and then my chipboards and tickets and tags and everything to see if there's anything else that I could find that I could possibly use. I was gonna make wood veneer mustaches, but I just feel like those were too obvious. Whereas this can be kind of funny. So I went back actually to the tags to look around, and I ended up using some of the tickets, which were little square tickets, which is kind of weird because usually tickets are rectangular. But you know what? Hey, I'm not a shipper. They were fish, so it was good. So I just wanted to layer the tags and try to locate a place to put them and stuff, just to get it to get the little area filled. But you'll see here I started to use these little tickets, which break up into little squares, like I said. And I was thinking, you know what? I don't ever use my tiny attacher. Might as well use it. So I went ahead and used it on these three of the little ticket ephemera. Okay, so here I am with the final touches to it. I decided to change the little ticket and have it say favorite things. Like I said, this has become like kind of a running joke. Just something really cute we embrace. And we think it's super cute and funny. Of course, at the time it was just funny for some of us, but hey, whatever. So that is pretty much all I did to the layout. Just, you know, the dry brushing, and I was going to use some stencils. I have tons of stencils. I really don't know why I didn't use any. I was just, you know, trying to figure everything out at the moment, how I wanted it and where I wanted it. Like I said, next time I'm just going to use a sketch to kind of have a clear idea of where I'm headed, or just a roundabout idea instead of just, okay, well, I have this and I have that. I went and printed up a bunch of pictures. So these are just some last few pictures that I'm showing you guys of this layout. I'm very happy. You know, I'm proud of it. It's just like I said, I don't think it's my best work. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, you guys. Check out Tracy's shop, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, everyone.